When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Happy Friday to you. Hope your day is off to a great start. BJ Rains here with Bronco Nation News, and really excited about this episode today. We talked yesterday, kind of teasing some of the NIL stuff with Jay, talking about Chibuzo Abo and Leon Rice's thoughts on NIL and the direction that things are headed. But we're really going to dive into it today. I'm really excited for this one. And we're going to talk to Mike Walsh from Boise State. We're going to talk to Riley Smith, who has a unique deal with Lithia Ford. And we're going to talk with the GM of Lithia Ford, Jim Sterk, to kind of put together how all this went down in terms of NIL deals and things like that. So a special thanks to all of our great sponsors that you see behind me for making this possible, whether you're watching us live, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or any of the social media channels, or if you're listening to the podcast version that goes up on iTunes or Spotify or Amazon Music. We appreciate you however you're listening to this, and really excited to wrap up another week here with Bronco Nation News. But as I said, Mike Walsh, he is over at Boise State, and I got to make sure I get the title right now, Mike. Associate Athletic Director for Business Development and Revenue Innovation. It's a very cool title, Mike, but we appreciate you coming on, man. How's it going?
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for having me, BJ. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to this. And now one of, you're doing a lot of different hats, but one of the hats that you are doing is heading up the in-house NIL program. And you're very involved just in NIL in general and how that's all working, this kind of new wave at Boise State. What's this been like, man, the last year or so? And I know you took, I guess December it was officially that you kind of switched over, but just seeing this NIL stuff start to happen and this whole way things going, what's this been like from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, honestly. And it's something we've worked on internally for a couple of years now, in all honesty. When we went, into the pandemic era and sports stopped, and we kind of said, how is this going to look when we come back out of it? How is college athletics in general going to look? And how can Boise State best position itself for the future of college athletics when we get back to that point? We've got some time to work on it now. We've got a little bit of downtime. So we jumped right into, and we said, how can we make a difference? How can we make an impact? And from the very beginning, not knowing exactly what rules would be in place, NCAA, state, different things, at that point, we kind of said, what would be ideal, right? If we got to just chart our own course, what would it look like? And by the time all the regulations and everything came down, or lack thereof, truthfully, we kind of looked around and said, I think we can do this. I think we can do it exactly the way we wanted to in here and on our own and figure it out. And once the policy came down and the rules and regulations were in place from the NCAA, and, we're in an advantageous position with no state law in Idaho that didn't add additional layers to that NCAA policy. Once we had that in hand and we knew what we were looking at, we worked really hard with an outside general counsel and our internal general counsel to figure out the right path forward to accomplish what we knew we wanted to accomplish, which was creating the most student athlete friendly NIL program in the country. And I'd like to see over the last couple of months, you've probably seen that bear itself out. You talk to Riley. I mean, he's a great example of what that can look like and how an athlete can be involved and maximize their opportunities through using the resources that we've got available to them. And you're also seeing it bear itself out with the award that we're up for. I mean, there's no mistake that those other 5 schools that are up for the best institutional NIL program award in the country, there's probably a little bit more money those guys are talking about flowing around, but it's because of the way we're doing things and the way that we're providing resources and opportunities and going out and being really aggressive about it that has gotten us in that conversation on a national level. So it's exciting and things have ramped up. Every week that goes by, there's more people who kind of understand it, know what's going on, want to be involved, want to figure out how they can be involved. So it's really picking up steam, which is great.
Well, you mentioned Riley Smith. We're actually going to talk to him here in about 10 minutes or so and looking forward to catching up with him and getting more about this. And one of the things in terms of the in-house deals that you're talking about, we first saw it with the T-shirts, right? Was that the first one where you guys were able to actually put the name and number of the men's and women's basketball players on their on shirts and sell those, and you guys got a portion of the money, but the players, more importantly, got a percentage of the money. And I know that was kind of the first one, and then it started to evolve, and we'll talk about Riley in a second. But in general, the in-house portion of this and what you guys are able to do to try and market teams, and I don't know if you can say, but I would assume maybe that we're going to see, football players' jerseys in this fall, or just what's that part been like for you in these team deals now that you guys can work out?
Sure. So, yeah, you're talking about kind of a group licensing approach, which we did take and we took right out of the gate. And that's something that kind of sets us apart, where we've got our in-house group license arrangement that athletes can sign on to. It's non-exclusive, it's non-binding, it's voluntary, it's up to them. But if they do sign on, then they're giving us the opportunity to go out and find those opportunities on their behalf, which we're very proud of the fact that they get a better return than they would if we had a third party doing that work. We've cut out the middleman. You mentioned that there was a cut for us. At the end of the day, that's a royalty that the producer of whatever product is always going to have to pay for licensing and trademarks. And we've actually even worked with our licensing and trademarks group to find a more advantageous rate when we're talking about something that is NIL driven. So a licensee using our marks and logos in conjunction with an individual student athlete or a group of student athletes carries a lower licensing fee and rate than if they were to just go out and sell, a coffee cup with the Boise State logo on it or whatever. So we're really proud of the work we've done in those areas to get those group deals, again, in the most advantageous position for our student athletes. And yeah, there's football on the way. Absolutely. It's obviously a bigger roster that you try to get your arms around and figure out who all you've got access to and who's willing to be involved. And we're working through all that, but it's the beauty of kind of when we started and that we've got a little bit of time to get our hands around football and the size of that roster, but just had a great team meeting with football last week and kind of laid out everything that we offer to them. And a lot of student athletes have taken us up on that opportunity to come in and have conversations about it. I've got some more conversations coming up later this week to just kind of figure out how can we best position some of those individuals to take advantage of their value that they have right now. And that's what this is all about, is putting them in position to win.
Now, there's different kinds of NIL deals. You mentioned the in-house one, the team ones where you guys, can sub-license or whatever it's called, where they can, like I said, have the Boise State logo and brand as part of it. There's some where guys go out on their own to random companies, whether it be a dentist company or whoever, a car, but those are that are not associated with the school, right? They just can't have any Boise State apparel on and when they're doing the endorsement, I guess, and can't reference Boise State. There's no Boise State logos. But then you have somewhere the first one of its kind, I guess, with one of our big sponsors up here, Lithia Ford, who is also a big supporter of Boise State. And they were able actually with Riley Smith to go out on the blue and film a commercial with him, or a series of commercials, I guess. And those, he's on the blue in a Boise State uniform. How did this deal in particular come about with the fact that he's able to be on the blue? And I know it has to do with your guys' partnership with Lithia, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Lithia is a great supporter of us and works through our multimedia rights holder, which is Learfield Sports and through Bronco Sports Properties, to be a sponsor and to have the ability to affiliate their logo with the Boise State logo and how Boise State athletics operates. And so that capability, you kind of break it down, and Riley did an awesome job of being marketable and understanding his value in this market and selling himself. We worked together, most steps through that process to say, here's a way to formulate that pitch and figure out how to get the most out of what you've got to offer. But at the end of the day, it's him. And his ability to market himself and his confidence in what he brings to the table that was able to get that deal done. And I just have all kinds of adoration for him and what he was able to achieve. I'd like to think we played a small role in that, but at the end of the day, it's because of who he is and what he was able to do and present himself the way he was able to present himself. But as far as the Lithia piece, it's awesome. We got to sit down and have a conversation that says, how can you maximize the assets you already have access to because of your existing sponsorship deal with Bronco Sports Properties and Boise State Athletics? And by the end of the conversation, it was a pretty clear win-win that, they have this inventory, they have the ability to shoot commercials and utilize the marks and logos. And they essentially said, we love Riley and we want to be able to use him as a spokesperson. I think this is creating more value for us. And that's what we're going to keep seeing. And this isn't going to be the last one. I would like to think that, by the end of this month, you're going to see something else that's out there that's got this co-branded opportunity, maybe not on the same large scale, but there are companies that are understanding that what they already have in place with Boise State and with Bronco Sports Properties is incredibly strong. It's very hard to replace in this valley and even regionally. And they can make it even stronger by co-opting that opportunity with an athlete that is recognizable, that people know who it is, and it's authentic and genuine, rather than hiring a model or an actor to come down and play football on the field or whatever that may be. If that's what they have access to, they're using the real deal. It's the real thing, and it's helping the athletes as well.
And I recorded an interview with Jim Sterk that we're going to play here a little later, but he did say he probably would not have done the deal if he wasn't able to film it on the blue and use the, nothing against Riley Smith, but, that has a lot of value for him to be able to have Riley Smith wearing his Boise State jersey as opposed to another football player, just having to be out there in a generic, white T-shirt for his NIL deal. So it makes perfect sense, I guess. Is there any more investment, I guess, from the company, so to speak, to Boise State if they are a member like that, or is that just part of they're just work out their deal with Riley, but they can film it there because they're already have the deal?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Lithia is in a very high category when it comes to level of sponsorship, and so the ability to shoot a commercial on the blue will come with that. But there's different levels. There's different levels to everything, and it's hard to give a cut and dry answer because it also depends on industry, right? I mean, there's a different expectation for somebody with different reach and different profit margins and different business models. And so that's what that Landon Day and Matt Snyder and Victoria and their group up in Bronco Sports Properties, they're experts in that area. They work with, regional and national folks on a Learfield level to make sure that they understand what the value is and that they're asking something that's fair of those sponsors who want to be involved. But those who have existing deals, it's absolutely worth a conversation to figure out, can I take the inventory and assets that I already have access to and figure out how to maximize that with an athlete being involved. And that's where we're seeing a lot of these things really start to take off.
Well, it could take off even more in terms of adding new sponsors too. If a company wants to get involved, that knowing that if they did that, then they would have access maybe to some of that stuff. And it all culminated with Riley Smith earlier this week, driving off in his truck, and it was a very, very nice truck. It's not just an X150 or F150. It's an F150, LXT, and it's all souped up, and it's a sport edition. It was very nice, and you see the smile on his face there as he drives away. So that's got to be pretty cool for you, Mike, to see this all come together, and then literally see that the end of it with him driving off in his truck.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm so pumped for Riley. He's like I said, he drove the boat on a lot of that. It's because of who he is and what he knew about himself and how to market himself and position himself that he's able to do that. And he's going to bring a ton of value to Jim and those guys at Lithia. And Jim knows that. He gets it. He sees what it's about and how this is going to help him and his business. And that's the whole thing. It's a win-win-win. And you're right. It brings a huge smile to my face to see Riley drive off the parking lot with that pickup and know the work that he put into it to get that deal done. And that's what this is all about. That's what everybody talks about. Athletes being able to get a piece of the pie through NIL. This is what we're talking about right here. And it's bringing a ton of value to everybody on all sides of this conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe going a little overboard to say this is a historic moment, but it is a pretty big deal that you guys, not only can these athletes now do this, but the fact that you guys have the deal with a company, and there he is, it's all fair game for him to be in a Boise State sweatshirt and just make this whole thing come full circle. I mean, it is the first that I know of, right? That is with this agreement. You said there's more to come, but it is kind of a I would say it's a monumental step, right, for this NIL program and what you guys are trying to do here to help these athletes?
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah, just the visibility that Boise State football brings in general, and then the blue turf, and then the size of a deal, that leads to a pickup truck. I mean, we're not talking about something that you can just go pick up for a couple of bucks. Like that's real value for Riley, and for Jim to see that. We're super appreciative of Jim's involvement and his understanding of where this is headed and how it can help him and how it helps Boise State, and how it helps Riley. And so for us to be able to fully package something like this and see it come to fruition, these things don't happen overnight. That's part of doing deals. That you've gone out and all the sponsors behind you. I know that didn't happen overnight for you, and it's something you've had to grind for, and to see it come to fruition, it's pretty awesome.
Now, there's two sides of this too, because with the whole NIL thing, and now we're seeing, players get 2-year $400,000 deals in a car from an NIL sponsor to go to Miami or whatever. And you guys, again, where you're on the front edge of this, you were on the front edge of, and again, I know it's kind of a tricky spot in terms of what you can and can't say, but I mean, you guys were on the front end again of this. You're one of the first I've seen where you had a basketball player commit, earlier in the week or last week, whenever it was, and yet with his commitment was 2 sponsor logos, and those sponsors I know are not affiliated with Boise State, but so there was no Boise State in the graphic or anything, but it was just a unique, another unique step, I guess, for this program and what you guys are doing, where the commitment, that the player was looking to come in and transfer from Texas Tech and was able to secure his own NIL deals, I guess, and that came with part of the commitment, I guess. What can you say, I guess, just about that? Obviously a much different deal than Riley's deal, but this whole new era, I guess, and where we're going to start to see commitments and players coming in with NIL deals guaranteed before they even arrive on campus.
Yeah, sure. Obviously I can't really speak to the Miami examples you're throwing out there, but the commitment you saw from a men's basketball player, at the end of the day, it's a conversation we have internally that says where is their value and where can we find value, whether that's for individual athletes that are already part of our programs, or whether it's for businesses that are local in town that we want to have better relationships with. Where can we find value? And we know that some of that value exists on social media. Not everything's going to be social media driven, but when you talk about a way to get involved on social media, we looked around and said, we know that commitments and signings and whatever that looks like, those are some of the most engaged with posts that you're going to see from an athlete. So how can we try to set something up with our local businesses that, they want to get involved on the front end and figure out how they can capitalize on some of those really engaging posts and opportunities? Well, it's a little tricky because it's before they're, technically a member of the program maybe, and we've got to figure out ways to do that. But that's something that we're taking that position on, where we can help the businesses identify opportunities to get involved with our programs and figure out how to maximize the value that they're getting. And again, it's those opportunities. We've seen it for years where somebody tweets out where they're headed and what that looks like. And those posts are going to get engaged with, whether it's their family and friends, whether it's local media covering the event, whatever that may be, the school itself, those are really high level engagement posts. And so how can we structure an opportunity for a local business to be involved? And it comes down to, there's no inducement on the athlete's behalf, but can we get something structured that can move very quickly once a commitment is made, so that the deal was kind of already in place, maybe some placeholders about, well, what's it worth? Because you don't know what a deal's worth until you know an athlete's following and different things like that. And so just a placeholder with some language that says this is what it could look like. And then once we get to that point, it is something that you mentioned, it's a changing landscape. And so how commitments happen and how those announcements happen is changing, because now there's different opportunities involved. And so, we were fortunate working with Buzo. I've had conversations with him since he officially signed that, he's a guy that gets it. He's a guy that understands what this looks like and wants to make the most out of it for himself and for his teammates and for the rest of this program. And so those were easier conversations to have with him as we navigated this landscape and what that looks like. But all that work started on the front end before we knew which individual we're talking about. It was more of a construct to say, is this an opportunity? Is this a way that a local business would want to get involved with the athletes that are coming in? And again, we go back to the kind of the start of NIL. How do the athletes get a piece of the pie? And this is a perfect way. It is them who's driving the value of these commitments and signings and all this stuff that that plays so well on social. It's because of the athlete. So how can we make sure that they get a piece of the pie? And, there's a level of involvement we can have and a level of involvement we can't have, but we can help try to make these things happen the right way, which we are confident that that's what we're doing. And we know we did that, and we're going to continue to do it. We're going to continue to push the envelope and do it the right way. But it's finding that value. It's finding opportunities either for the athlete or for the business, and knowing that these are win-win situations.
And it sounds like you're not, and just a couple more quick things, and I know you're busy and I appreciate your time, but I mean, it sounds like you're not necessarily brokering a deal in that situation, but you can at least connect the dots or connect the pieces, or what can your level be in some sort of deal like that if a player was incoming and wanted to do something like that?
Yeah, at that point, we're a resource for the businesses at that point. And we can definitely have conversations with an incoming athlete about what it can look like for them, but there's no promises made at that point. And at that point, it's up to the business to see the value that they believe is there. I can provide numbers and historical data and everything else to say to a business what a fair offer probably is. And then once that athlete's a part of our program, that's one of the things we have set up with our in-house program, is that I can represent those athletes. And so they need to sign on to our group deal to be a part of that. Again, that's what we go back to and say it's voluntary. It's non-exclusive. It's not something they have to do by any means. But if it's a resource that they want in their corner and they want me to be there helping them out, it's an option that we have, which is awesome. And so before that happens, and I'm talking to the businesses to try to make something really work for them, I can just present that same data that says this is kind of what we project that different athletes at different levels of followership, and different locales might have. I have access to basically everybody's engagement rates and impressions and all of those sorts of metrics that matter when it comes to social media advertising. And so when we get those data points together, it's pretty easy to say to a business, hey, this is perceived value. I think this is really real here. And if it's part of your ad budget, then we can have that conversation. If not, everything's negotiable. And it just depends on, at that point, they come to an agreement with what they're happy with in their head, and they're able to go present that to an athlete and figure out, is this a way that we want to move forward? Is it something you want to do? And it's a way that an athlete can kind of, take advantage right away. Because like I said, those commitment graphics are going to be some of the most engaging content that they have throughout their college career, to be honest with you. And so it's a way to maximize what they've got right there, rather than having to sit back and say, we'll see what you're worth once you get to campus. So it's been fun to kind of find the right way to get through those conversations and problem solve. That's a ton of what we're doing right now, is problem solving. And I think we did a fantastic job getting to a point where we had businesses who were interested in getting involved because they saw the value. And then once it came to be that Buzo was one of those guys, then that kind of had to sort itself out to what his value was for his post. And that's sort of between them at that point. But it's a lot of moving parts that I feel really good about the way that we were able to handle, and we're going to continue to do it that way.
Well, it's fascinating. And like I said, you guys were one of the first I've seen with something like that, in terms of a graphic with the company logos on the commitment that the player made. He was one of the first I've seen do that. So, I mean, you guys continue to kind of hit these new marks and breakthroughs, and that's, like you said, why you're up for the award that you are. So if a business owner is listening, or if somebody is watching this and they are interested in getting involved, I know you guys have the NIL exchange, correct? What are ways that local businesses could connect and maybe get in touch with some of these student athletes or with you guys in terms of the different options and questions they might have?
Yeah, so the easiest way to do it is shoot an email to nil@boisestate.edu. That's going to be the quickest, most direct route. I will reply there. I'll get on the phone with you, send you an email back. We'll kind of sort through what your preferences are and what your criteria is and how you position your business, maybe where your advertising lives and who's going to be a really good fit for you, who would align with you, and whether that's based on budget or, what you're looking for or whatever. I love starting those conversations and kind of figure out where we can help. The other way, like you mentioned, is the exchange, which can be accessed through broncosports.com/NIL. Once you get registered in there, if that's the route you choose to go, then I'll reach out to you as well once you're in that portal. And that's a way to kind of sift through what some of our athletes can do for you and what their opportunities are. But it's also a platform that allows for transaction proposals that go directly to our compliance office once an athlete approves it. and it allows for payment processing if that's the route that you want to go on that. So all kinds of options. We try to make it as easy as possible. That is my role in this, is for the athlete and for the businesses to make everything as easy and seamless as possible so that there's no hurdles and no excuses. So if it makes sense for you and your business, that there's a way for you to get it done without having to think too hard about it.
Well, appreciate your time, Mike. Like I said, it was crazy being out there at Lithia Ford and watching a fully sanctioned deal with a player driving off with a truck that I guess he's leasing, or they're figuring out. I don't know what, he didn't buy it. I don't know what the terms are, but
it's a 1-year free lease for him.
Getting it to you, access to the car, a lease of the car for the year, and it's pretty crazy because at some of those SEC schools and things, guys, we're getting cars. It just wasn't legal, and to see it, it's a pretty cool now that you guys are on board, and like you said, maybe there's more to come here. So it's gonna be fascinating to follow this and see this undevelop, and great insight, man. So really appreciate your time, and congrats on the success with the program so far, and good luck with what's going on moving forward.
Yeah, I appreciate having me on, BJ.
Appreciate it. Mike Walsh does a great job with Boise State. Really appreciate his time, and it was fascinating. There's the business owner, and there's him in the driving off in the truck, and so looking forward to talking to Riley here in a couple of minutes, also just to check in with him and get his perspective of the deal and all of that. So I really appreciate him. But first, do want to mention a couple of our great sponsors: United Commercial Insurance, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. They make business insurance easy for you. You can check them out online at United Commercial Insurance. They can write policies in 44 states around the country. So whether it's any kind of workers' comp or any kind of liability business insurance, again, they're a local company. They support Boise State, but they are looking to they're Boise State fans, I should say, but they can help you out around the country. So check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Boise Dentistry Co. as well. Those are my kids there on the screen. Look how happy they are there. If you get my kids smiling, you're doing something right. So we appreciate Dr. Chris Miner at BoiseDentistryCo.com. If you're looking for a new dentist for the whole family, I go there as well. My wife does. So check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. We appreciate them. Family dentistry and wellness locations, again, all across the Treasure Valley. Transportation compliance service as well. You can check them out. TransCompService.com is the address. 1,000 people a day are getting into the trucking industry. So if you're thinking about that, now is the time. Jump on in. And if you're looking for a career change, a fresh start, perfect opportunity is becoming a truck driver. And they can help you out at transcomservice.com. All the permits, all the things you need to get out there on the road, they can get you out there towing that first load in no time. So check them out, transcompservice.com. Well, we get a chance to continue the conversation now. We're talking NIL, and Riley Smith, who we were talking about with Mike Walsh earlier, joins us now. Riley, how's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We appreciate you coming on. We're having a good time here kind of learning about NIL and this whole new wave of things, and got some great information from Mike Walsh. And from your perspective, we've seen you sign a couple deals and do some things. What's this whole process been like for you?
It's been awesome. We've had a lot of great resources. I know you've talked to Mike and Joe. They've kind of laid it out amazing for all of us and simplified it so much for us. And it's just been great to be able to take advantage of these opportunities that are out there and use everything we've done on the field, off the field, in the classroom, in the community, and kind of be able to use it to market ourselves on the community now.
I wanted to ask you about some of the particulars of some of the deals and stuff, but I mean the Boise State NIL exchange that Mike was talking about, I guess the registry or the database, I guess, right, that you guys have access to, that the businesses themselves have access to. What's that like, and how has that helped you and other athletes?
Like I said, it simplifies it for all of us, and we kind of broke it down today, and it just gives athletes a simple way to go through and see which companies are open to talk about deals, and allows everyone to go out and kind of venture off and do their own different things. And that is just a great way that we've been able to take advantage of that.
What has this been like, now making money to send out a tweet for somebody, or getting to drive around a new truck for doing a TV commercial for somebody? I mean, you could have probably never imagined that, when you came to Boise State out of Florida, you come all the way across the country now to be making money like this. I mean, it was taboo to even talk to a booster or something back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's just a whole new world here, man, where you can profit, off of your name, image, and likeness. What's this been like for you and the rest of the student athletes at Boise State to get to cash in a little bit on some of this?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been awesome. And there's a lot of benefits. And I know a lot of people are wanting to take advantage of that now that it's out there for us. And even besides that, it's just great to have the ability to go out and get some of those business and entrepreneur skills that we wouldn't have before. And we talked about how we can learn how to do that in a controlled environment now, and it kind of sets us up for the future, that with skills that we wouldn't really be able to build on our own throughout college. So it's just a great opportunity all around, and helps us out. And I wouldn't have imagined it, but it's awesome.
Now, I know there's different deals out there. You've got to deal with this, different companies, but you're the unique one of the Lithia Ford one, where they were able to work with Boise State to set that up for. And how did that kind of come about? One of Boise State's sponsors helping you out, and how did that kind of work together?
Right. So it started out, I just kind of went out and shot my shot with them and talked to their manager, and went and sat down and just kind of sold them my image and sold them my brand. And we kind of chopped it up a little bit, and he thought it would be a great idea. And that put me in contact with Mike. And it's just a very different deal than the rest of them. Like you said, Lithia Ford being a previous sponsor for Boise State, and it kind of unlocks a whole new level of stuff that we're able to do. So Mike helped me out a lot with that. And it just kind of went to a new level, like I said, with the opportunities that we could do. So it was awesome. And
we got some of the photos here. You filmed a commercial out on the Blue. You were in the locker room as well, right? Or the weight room. What all did you do, and what was that experience like? I mean, that's a little different than sending out a tweet for Tin Roof Tacos. I mean, to have to, be a TV star, so to speak, and do commercials and things. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was different. Having to learn lines and kind of tap into the acting skills that I didn't know I ever had, but just being able to meet with their marketing team and knowing the point they wanted to get across. And so going out, it was a great opportunity. It's something different that I never thought I'd be doing, and going out and working with them and being in commercials and being on the Blue. And we were doing all these different takes and going in the weight room, and I'm excited to see the finished product, but it was amazing.
So how do you market yourself? I mean, you're not the starting quarterback, or football is such a tough sport because you're wearing your helmet all the time. So maybe folks don't recognize you as much as a Tyson Degenhardt or something on the basketball team, where their faces are more seen, or some of the other student athletes in the different sports. But when you went in there and made your pitch to Jim Sterk or whoever it was, how do you kind of market yourself as the tight end of Boise State football, as to why a company should, believe in you? And did you have to do some practicing or learning, and how do those skills help your kind of marketability and things that you're learning as you move into a career beyond football too?
Right. It definitely started with the 4 years I put in as I got here. And it started with what we did on the field, what we did in the community as far as just community service, and working with you guys, and people see all that stuff and they learn what type of people we are. And so handling our business first was the gateway to be able to go and kind of tell them about who I am and tell them what I've done, and just be able to break it down for them and show them that I'm a marketable person. And it definitely took a lot of preparation and work. And I put some time into that, being able to go in and kind of explain how I will be used in a profitable way for their company, and market their company in a good way, and that they would want to be able to work with me.
Well, we've seen, like I said, there's all kinds of deals where guys just send out a tweet and get some free food, or there's guys like you that are doing a TV commercial, and you are getting to drive around a car, right, or a truck?
Yes, sir.
That's got to be pretty cool. And I know there's tax implications and all that too, but I guess that's got to be pretty nice. I'm sure some of the other players might be a little jealous that you got that deal.
Yeah, well, it's awesome because we're all have all those opportunities to do that. And just being one of the first guys, I mean, Hank has done similar deals as well. And I kind of learned from some of the stuff he did. And now it gives me the ability to go back and help some of my teammates out, when it kind of shows that those options are out there. And especially now that we have that kind of period between spring ball and fall camp, it gives people some time to take full advantage of that. And so it's just pretty cool to be able to go out and help my teammates, because a lot of them are definitely marketable, and a lot of people in the community are going to take them up on that. It's just getting your foot in the door first. So it'll be awesome, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to start doing that.
I wanted to ask you about that. This is probably the right time of year to do it, obviously, but have you guys had talks with Coach Avalos or anybody, Mike Walsh, or folks in the department, just about, the not letting stuff like this become a distraction? And I know some guys are going to have a chance to make more money than others. And, we've seen kind of the basketball team, I know, did the T-shirt deal, and I know maybe some stuff like that could come your guys' way as well. But what it's just kind of a unique thing where maybe the backup punter is not going to have the same opportunities that you or the quarterback does. And I don't know if that's ever can create rifts or what, but just what's this like as you guys navigate this and not letting it become a distraction or any issue in the locker room or things like that?
Right. Definitely. It's always about football first. And like I said, it's really, you get these opportunities for what you do on the field and what you do in the community. So if you focus on those first, those deals will follow, and people will start hitting you up because of what the type of person you are and what you've been doing on the field. And there's a lot of guys on the team that are smart, and a lot of guys that are able to go out and they can find those opportunities. And there's no rifts. Everybody's happy for each other. I mean, it's great to see people get deals and stuff, but it's awesome to help each other out through it, because it's new to all of us. And we have great resources like Mike and Joe, and they've helped us out so much. But being able to go through it and help guys that are just getting started out, it's just kind of something we do as a team. And definitely no rifts. We're all happy for each other for sure.
We saw Nigel Pack, a basketball player from Kansas State, go to University of Miami, and it was announced that he was getting a $400,000 deal from one of the boosters there in a car. I mean, it's just crazy. Who knows where this is going to go? But I mean, you think about just the city of Boise and a lot of the companies and businesses here. I mean, do you feel like you're seeing interest that this is going to be a chance that can help Boise State with in the future in terms of trying to help the athletes make some money off all this?
Yeah, definitely. I think the way we have it set up, and we had a lot of people working behind the scenes early on to help this simple for us, and just be able to go out, and it definitely breaks it down for us and gives us an easier chance compared to some of the teams that haven't started out and they're just kind of jumping into the fire with it. It makes it easy on us. And I think just everything about Boise State football is marketable, and our community always has our back and showing us support. And I think it's going to be great relationships built over time between businesses in the community and Boise State student athletes.
Congratulations, man, and continued success. It's about time that you guys get to do this. And before I let you go, one final thing, and Joe may dive across and end the interview, but how you feeling, man? How are you feeling injury-wise? We know you missed spring, but I know fans are eager to know how you're doing as you get out towards summer workouts here.
I mean, I feel great. Our rehab team and trainers and coaches have done a great job preparing all of us. Even though I wasn't on the field during spring, I feel like I've learned more about football and have increased my football IQ this year more than ever. And the shoulder's feeling good, and I'm just ready to get back out there with the boys and compete.
Well, continued success, man. Get healthy, and we'll see you out there this fall. And we appreciate your time, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, there he is, Riley Smith, and we appreciate his time for joining us, and great stuff, and pretty cool, and happy for him. And he's got some other deals as well. He's got one with Tin Roof Tacos. He's got some other NIL opportunities. So pretty cool that, we've reached this point where they can profit off their name, image, and likeness. And, it's crazy times right now. We'll see where it goes. We're going to hear from Jim Sterk, the GM at Lithia, in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. I go to that Kuna location often. There are 13 Idaho locations. Shopridleys.com. They got the at-home shopping, the home delivery, the Skip app, all that great stuff. Check them out, shopridleys.com. The Blue and Orange Store as well, the blueandorangestore.com. Whether you're in Boise at the Boise Town Square Mall, or if you're online, not in the area, you can check them out at the blueandorangestore.com. All the daily deals, the flash sales, all that new Nike gear is there at the blueandorangestore.com. So we appreciate their support. Matt Bauscher Real Estate, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. His logo was on the Chibuzo Abo commitment graphic that we were talking about with Mike Walsh. So Matt Bauscher is doing an NIL deal with Chibuzo Abo, and so he is supporting his alma mater, and you can support him and thank him by using him to buy or sell your next home. BauscherRealEstate.com is the address you want to check out there. Play Timberstone, playtimberstone.com. Timberstone Golf Course, it's where we're having our golf tournament here in a couple of weeks. The best greens in the valley was out there last week, and Edge had a phenomenal time. It's one of the best courses in the area, so check it out. Playtimberstone.com to book your foursome today, and you won't be disappointed to head out there and play. It's just a great course, beautiful scenery. Always love playing out at Timberstone. I mentioned Jim Sterk. He's the GM of Lithia Ford of Boise, and as I said before, one of our great sponsors here. We really appreciate Lithia Ford and what they're doing for Bronco Nation News. We thank them. Compare, shop, finance, everything online. You can check them out, lithiafordboise.com. And we appreciate them for jumping in, sponsoring our pregame shows and our postgame shows here at Bronco Nation News. And it just worked out nicely that they are also supporters of Boise State, and we're able to do this deal with Riley Smith. And so I had a chance to catch up with Jim for a couple minutes. It's a pretty short interview, but wanted to get his perspective as a business owner, as somebody that has a deal with Boise State Athletics, what this whole NIL deal means and what it means to get somebody like Riley Smith involved and being able to shoot that commercial on the blue and that kind of stuff. So we continue our look at this. Here is my conversation with the GM at Lithia Ford of Boise, Jim Sterk.
We just had a relationship with an employee here that knew Riley from school, and she reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in visiting with him, and I said, sure, why not? What the heck? And Riley had the sense to come in and sit down and visit with me, and I liked him immediately. So I had him interview with our local ad agency, and they liked him immediately. So we thought we could come up with a deal, and we did.
Well, what do you make of this whole NIL deal stuff now, being able to let Riley drive out of here with a vehicle to help promote your company?
Well, it's great because it does help promote the company, but I think it's great for the kids. They actually get an opportunity, as they're in school, instead of, just being the athlete. And yeah, they get taken care of with their scholarships, but their name, image, likeness earns them money, earns the school money, and so they should be able to be a part of that.
And for you guys to have the relationship with Boise State too, to be able to have Riley film this out on the blue and wearing his jersey and stuff, how big of a part and why was, I'm sure that made it more appealing for you to want to do.
I probably wouldn't have done it without that little piece, the fact that we've been partners with Boise State for years, and the ability to use the colors, the logo. I mean, we all understand what the logo means in our community, and that's a big part of the decision, yes.
You think about, we were talking about this earlier, but there's no pro teams here. I mean, Boise State football, Boise State basketball athletes are kind of the most recognizable people in town. How do you think, big picture, I guess, with NIL and with other stuff, to see where this goes moving forward? I mean, I know it's just to help them out as well, but I mean, to have a quarterback or a star player, driving one of your cars on TV, it can help you as well.
Absolutely. Anytime you can get some good PR out there, and I think anything that has to do with Boise State athletics in our town or in our state is good PR. That's why we became a partner years and years ago, and it's like you have to be part of the biggest game in town, right?
Yeah. So how do you see where this is going to? Because there's some deals where guys are getting $500,000 and all this stuff. And how do you as a business owner and a community leader kind of look at where the value is? And you want to obviously help out the school and things, but you also want to make sure you're not just going to give away money. You want to make sure there's value for you too. How do you see that balance?
Well, it's brand new, right? So we're going to learn, and I guess you got to figure out where is your return on investment. It's basically advertising and promotion dollars, and we expect a certain return, and so we're going to find out, right? I think Riley's the right guy. I think we picked the right guy, and so we're going to find out, and it'll be interesting to see what some of other businesses or sponsors or such are going to do as we move forward. And obviously, I think it's going to be a big part of the athletes that get here.
Well, I got you here. I mean, you obviously have gotten to know the new athletic director, new administration, as someone that supports Boise State, what's just your big picture take on the direction of the department right now?
It's incredible. It's went to the unveiling at the spring game of the new facility, and you look forward to it, right? And I think everybody's interested in that, to see that growth for Boise State, and with the growth in the community and such, if we can get some people to join in and be a part of it. There's the economy's on fire. We should be able to enjoy some of that. I don't think it's pie in the sky. I think it's a doable deal.
And you're giving away a hole-in-one. You're giving away a car for a hole-in-one at our tournament here. We just got to say a thank you for that, and hopefully you're going to be out there playing too. But I just wanted to get that on the record that we really appreciate what you guys are doing for Bronco Nation News as a supporter, and so it's fun to do a deal that crosses over here. But we got you to give away an Escape, so hopefully, I guess for your sake, since you got the insurance, somebody can make that happen and drive it off, right?
If somebody knocks it in the hole, they're going to get a car.
And there it is. I was muted there for a second. Sorry about that. But how about that? You get a hole-in-one, you win a free car from Lithia Ford of Boise. So we appreciate them. That is at our tournament coming up on June 3rd. Hope you will sign up. We've got about 8 or 9 foursomes. We're about 3/4 the way full. We're getting close to selling this thing out. So if you're interested in participating, we're less than a month away now. You better do it quick. You can email me, rains@bronconationnews.com. That's just RAINS @bronconationnews.com. If you're interested in participating in the tournament, we're going to have all kinds of free swag. We have free golf balls from rowpaint.com. We got free golf towels, I believe, from rowpaint.com. We got golf gloves, I think that Lithia or that ICCU is giving away. And Lithia is going to be putting in some swag in the swag bag. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You get breakfast, you get lunch, you get drinks on the course. And during the lunch, there's going to be a Q&A with some of the local coaches that show up and some of the athletes. It's going to be an awesome time just to raise some money for a good cause. The Idaho Youth Sports Commission is where we'll be donating a portion of the proceeds, as well as making a donation to support the family of Rick Worthington. So we're going to be donating a good portion of this money to charity, but also using some of this to help be able to fund having Jay Tust and Mike Prater and John Mallory on our show moving forward. So we got a lot of different reasons for this tournament, but mainly it's just to have a good time. We want to have a good time, have some drinks, hang out with other BSU fans, and have a good time. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you out there June 3rd at Timberstone. And again, we've only got like eight foursomes left, I think it is. I got like 2 hole sponsorships left too. So if you're a local business, you want to jump in, sponsor a hole, or if you want to get a foursome, don't wait any longer. We can also take you as individuals. If you want to go as an individual, we can put you with some other people. Just check out bronconationnews.com. And then click on the golf tournament tab for more information. BroncoNationNews.com, the golf tournament tab, or you can go ahead and email me, rains@bronconationnews.com. I mentioned Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com, one of our great supporters here. We really appreciate their support and what they've done to help out Bronco Nation News. They are the co-title sponsor of the golf tournament, so they've stepped up really in a big way, and we appreciate them for sponsoring the golf tournament and for what they're doing, along with rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. As you heard with Lithia Ford, another one of those companies that pays to be able to associate themselves with Boise State. So return the favor to rowpaint.com, power and people, pride in painting, roepaint.com. They've worked on my basement, my garage, patio, all the great stuff. And it's just been awesome to see the work they do and the transformations they can make, whether it's a concrete coating, whether it's residential painting, you name it. Rowpaint.com can take care of that. So we appreciate them. We appreciate all of our great sponsors, and we appreciate you guys for checking out this video. Another week in the books of Bronco Nation News live here at bronconationnews.com. So thank you so much, and really excited about Monday. We're going to start a new series on Monday as we count down the 25 most important players to the Boise State football team. We'll start with number 25 on Monday, and each day over the next 5 weeks, we'll work our way down. And then we've got another top 25 countdown, and that'll take us almost into fall camp media days. So believe it or not, 10 weeks is getting us pretty close. So we'll start on Monday with number 25, the 25th most important player to the Boise State football team in 2022, and looking forward to that. So appreciate you guys for checking out this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Kind of a long one, and didn't get to put any of the comments and stuff up on the screen, but obviously really enjoyed putting this one together over the last couple of days, and going out to Lithia and seeing Riley there and talking to Jim Sterk. So appreciate all of you guys for checking us out. Appreciate all of our great sponsors. Please support the sponsors. I know you may not like me every show spending 30 seconds talking about them, but they are what makes this possible. That the ones you see behind me, all the other sponsors we put up on the screen, Bronco Nation News is not possible without our sponsors. So please support them. Please thank them for supporting us. And hopefully if they're happy, then they can continue to invest in us and we can keep this thing rolling here moving forward. So really appreciate it. Everyone for checking us out. Been another great week. And again, we'll start with number 25 with John Mallory on Monday for our top 25. So appreciate everybody. Hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday morning. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily